Yes, I opened for Madonna at the Garden.
Did you get to meet her?
So I've blown my chance to meet Madonna like 5 times now. So it's never worked out. I have talked to her on the phone, and I have seen, like texts from her and stuff. So after the Garden show, her manager sent me a thing, and it just said, "M loved you."
So were you the only opening act?
Mm-hmm. And she was super late. So like
I heard that.
Going, like they told me, they're like, yeah, she might be a minute or two late, so just kind of be flexible. Yeah, whatever you need.
I think there was static about that. I think Boston was PO'd from what I heard.
Every market was PO'd. So
what was wrong with her? What was she doing? Like sit-ups or?
She was actually. So there was in the back of the Garden was a gym built for her, and she was just doing her workout routine and wasn't done yet.
Did you teach yourself how to mix, or were you doing that, No,
it's nothing I did as a child. So I just a girl broke my heart and just needed to kind of escape from everything. So I got into doing that, just watched a lot of videos online, sat there with my headphones on, and just really taught myself.
You have to go out and get some equipment to do that. I mean,
Yeah. There's like a little startup. Nowadays it's much easier. You can literally do everything on a laptop.
Oh, so you don't have to get the 2 turntables and go whoop, 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 whoop.
That's like the farthest thing from what any of us do.
Okay.
That's the universal sign for they don't know what they're talking about.
I do not know what I'm talking about. What's it officially called? Dance music nowadays? Or
dance music.
Dance music.
A lot of people say EDM. It's just electronic dance music, but it also has a very negative connotation if you're in the scene, because it's kind of like this bro kind of festival dance music.
It sounds like a drug, EDM. It's not?
No, that's MDMA.
Why is remixing a talent? Where's the talent?
If you tried it, you'd understand where the talent comes into play. Because you have to have, music theory. You have to know what's going on, and basically you're playing all the elements of a band. So instead of having, 4 or 5 people, you're the one that's tuning the vocals. You're playing the bass lines. You're playing the keyboard parts. You're playing the guitars. And if you're really good, someone like Skrillex, so he did a remix with the Doors. And the Doors were super impressed because he got it. He came from that rock background and just knew, don't just draw in the MIDI notes. There needs to be this human element to it. So he would change velocities on things to just give it this human feel, so it didn't feel like a computer. And yeah, there's definitely... I know it sounds weird because a lot of it is done on a computer.
Yeah.
But you are composing. That computer is your instrument, and there's a lot of time and effort going into sound design, and the things you're hearing are not just natural sounds that you could record outside in the world. So that's a talent all on its own.
The one thing I loved about dancing in the discos era was it was pure debauchery. Is that a word you would use to describe the dance scene today?
I mean, it has its moments for sure. People start drinking, it gets late. Things are bound to happen, but having things like Tinder and those kind of things, you don't really need to go out to a club like you did back in the day to meet people. You could just sit on your couch and swipe right or left all night. So it's changed the game a little bit, and it's also become more of a concert setting.
Okay.
So instead of dancing with each other, people are just facing the stage and watching the DJ from start to finish.
Okay.
And it's more jumping than dancing.
Okay. That seems very bro.
In search of sunrise.
You did have some hit that knocked Rihanna off the charts.
So yeah, the single before that was called Sunrise.
Okay.
And that was done with a folk singer, Louise Carver from Johannesburg, South Africa.
How'd you find her?
I was on tour over there with David Guetta and Akon. Oh. So David basically does very similar to what I do. But he would obviously get more sound, more lights.
Yeah.
Akon would come out during his set.
More applause.
Yeah, it would look much cooler.
Did he get more applause?
Oh, yeah. I remember asking him, I was like, is there anything that I'm not allowed to play? He goes, it doesn't matter. They're going to cheer for me louder anyways. He meant it in the nicest way,
Of
and I
course.
totally get it. And
Yes.
I was like, cool,
facts
man.
are facts.
They are, but he was the headliner. I was just there to kind of help out. But in every city we went to, I would ask the locals, like, who are your favorite singers? Like, what's popular here? And her name kept coming up and up. So she was one of 2 people I reached out to after hearing like 50 or 60 singers. And luckily we just clicked and thought we'd give it a go. Yeah, it just kind of took off, and we still can't believe everything it's done. And
Do you make any money off that?
I mean,
It's royalties, it's radio airplay.
yeah, so there are royalty
ASCAP,
checks coming in from
Yeah.
the airplay and things of that nature, but it's still
What's a typical royalty
the
check?
expenses like that have gone into it.
Yeah.
I'm still in the red.
What's your happiest and saddest royalty check?
I mean, anytime I look at my Spotify royalties, it's pretty sad.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty, yeah. I mean,
What? Give me a vague idea. I don't
it's
even.
like 0.0000001% of a penny per play.
I don't do music streaming services because I feel like that they don't support the artist. Am I wrong or right?
It's a little of both. I mean, granted, the royalties, we don't get paid much from it, but it's still great advertising.
Okay.
So if you're put on, their top hits playlist or their discover new music, there's like 20 million people on there that may have never heard you before. And streaming is the way of where everything is going. So iTunes is not going to be there in another year or 2.
What?
Apple is phasing out all downloads
What?
so they can push it to Apple Music and be a very similar service to Spotify. So it's where it's headed. Like, millennials don't want
That is breaking news to us old folks. What? We need to buy up.
Well, millennials don't want to own anything. Everything is now experience-based. Like, you don't own a car, you Uber everywhere. You Airbnb, it's like you Spotify. Yeah, everything is just the click
If
of a
you
button.
have children, will you own them?
One would hope, but I'm sure in a few years there'll be an app for that.
Is a crime.
No, you
That's
have to
the way
like
it's
roll with the punches and like
Yeah.
see where technology is going. If you try to fight it, you're going to get lost in the dust.
So performing is still where the money's at, though, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing. If you can get your song out there and get a bunch of gigs off of it, that's where you'll kind of make everything back. Like selling music, you're not making money in that anymore. Even like the majors that you would
Yeah.
think, they must be raking it in. It's like, no, they're making their money from licensing
Yeah.
and other things.
Right, so where does Joe Bermudez go from here?
I mean, hopefully keep going up, up, up. But even if I don't, I love this so much that I'm not going to stop. It's just too much fun, and I can't see myself doing anything else.
Hey, Joe. Love you.
Aw,
You're awesome.
you're awesome too.
Another chance.